everybody. My name is Bei. I'm a associate professor in computer science department in the CES. I'm also honored to be the co-director of the IAAI Institute. So it's a great honor to contribute to how do we integrate or use AI in teaching. So today's gist is that to learn math, I'm just going to walk you through, be aware I'm going to ask you a math quiz. So we can use mathematics, simulations, computer programming, which I teach, and now prompting the ChatGPT to solve complex problems. So, of course, we are more than ever. This is a very great advancement of human civilization that all three masters pretty much can get accurate answers for a lot of very exciting complex problems. But can ChatGPT then replace learning, the math, and the programming in the class? Importantly, what skills do students actually learn when they use ChatGPT? I think these, I don't really have great answers. These are thought-provoking questions. Okay, so I'm going to throw you a AMC 8 2024 question number 25. Do you know what AMC 8 is? It's American Mathematics Contest 8. It's a middle schooler, 6th grade to 8th grade question. So, okay, the number 27 is typically pretty hard for 8th grader. Okay, so here it is. Okay, a small plane has 4 rows of seats with 3 seats in each row. 8 passengers are already gone onto the plane. A married couple is next to the board. What's the probability that they will find 2 adjacent seats? Without doing anything, just shout out to me. Is it bigger or smaller than 50%? Oh, okay, you guys. Okay. All right. No, it's okay. Was one of my best friend's wedding question. A nerd from a professor in the EU. That's one of his wedding questions. He separate guests into different groups, give each of them 10 questions is one of them. The other questions, what is the favorite food of his wife? Okay, so, all right. So this is the most popular solution. Students submit solutions. They have YouTube. I have a mathy child, so I also like recreational math. So here's how you solve it, right? So you have, this is the cross actually represent empty seats. So the first step is to randomly draw 4 random seats from 12 seats. You can also draw 8 occupied, but this is the same. So that gives you 495 cases. But what we want to find out is, with these 4 seats drawn, what are the cases they are not, 2 are not adjacent to each other? So once we figure out all the impossible ones, we minus from the total cases divided by total cases would give us a percentage. Sadly, you all got it wrong, it's 60%. Okay. The first case is, in fact, is 4 empty seats are each in an individual row. So that would be 4 times 4 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 81. The second situation is random choose 2 from 4 rows. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, sorry. You randomly choose 2 from the 4 rows and the seats are in the same row. That is pretty simple. You use combinatorics, 4 over 2 equals 6. The last one is a little bit complicated, right? So you choose 1 row to put 2 seats, that's 4, and choose 2 rows for the remaining 3. And that is 3 over 2. But there's also 3 choices among the seats. It takes a little time to really digest the solution, but everybody who's willing will be able to really do this with enough time. So that's 108. And you add these things together, minus from the 495, divided by 495, you get 60%. The correct answer is 20 over 33. So that's the question for AMC 8. Students don't have computers, they only have, maybe they have, but they don't have access to AI or programming. Okay, so this is solution number 1. What I found this problem very fascinating is that also assigned it to college students when they learn how to program, because there's a famous method to solve it without actually knowing combinatorics. It's called Monte Carlo simulation. Monte Carlo simulation is a famous sampling method in mathematics. The name is after this casino in Monaco. So instead of really working out all the choosing the combinatorics, you just run the simulation. In this case, 1,000 times, 100,000 times. Each time, random choose 4 empty seats out of 12. And then and then randomly choose 2 seats out of the 4 and simply judge whether they're next to each other. If it is, add 1 to the success bin. If not, ignore it. At the end of the 100,000 run, you just calculate the ratio of the number of success to the total runs. So that involves learning how to program in Python a little bit. I mean, different functions. Of course, you can observe the more trials you run, the closer to 60%. So this is a very popular tool also used in science, in physics, in finance, in everywhere. Okay, so this is number 2. It's a little bit lazy, but you have to write the code. Number 3, the solution is simply prompting your favorite AI tool, and there's so many to choose from. Whatever is free, readily available. ChatGPT 5 is the one we're using today. So all you have to do is copy and paste this question into it. Okay, so let's actually have a look of its solution. It got pretty close, right? It's pretty good. That's actually good. Except there's some like weird things happening in this prompt. Did you see that? There's like actual ones, which is not necessary, and there's some like zeros. So one thing is the students submitting, just copy this and submit it. You probably get A minus because the reasoning is perfect. If you, it's like what I have told you a little bit of the 3 cases. The only thing is I don't understand why they output is 1 plus 1 plus 1 and these weird zeros. So that's the ChatGPT suspicions. 1 and zeros will get you an A minus. Okay, so how about we summarize the advantages and disadvantages of these? This is a little bit humorous. It's not super serious. Solution 1 is analytical, right? The principle learned, this combinatorics, is a fundamental tool useful in many domains. In pure math, statistics, natural science, everybody in this room will benefit knowing it. It is fun to solve the problem using your own brain. And the method is solved by the brain with pen and pencil, means there's 0 electricity cost in here. And the disadvantages is slow, it's hard, it's painful, you have to scratch a few hairs, and you need training math. Okay, so solution 2 is simulation. We love it in computer science physics to solve really complicated questions without analytical form. No need to truly understand the combinatorics. No, you can forget about how to calculate 3 over 2, and no need to use any paper. Also, the principal Monte Carlo method is an important one in sampling, simulation, and in science. The disadvantage is that there's no closed form solution. You don't get exactly this closed form analytical solution. And students won't understand the combinatorics. One need to learn how to code, and this does cost some electricity. Okay, the last solution, the biggest advantage of the last solution of prompting ChatGPT is no need to understand anything. Being able to access the internet is all you need. Very quick, right? So if you forget about how to write code, if you're expert, you just want to get an answer, it's perfect. You can implement into your system. The disadvantages is for learning. I think the disadvantage of this approach is really for the beginner, who your child, to really learn how to do math. You cannot learn by just prompting it, right? So the brain is not involved in getting the solution. They may be able to solve similar questions without AI help. And also, just the last bit is inference on ChatGPT does cost energy. Even inference. Inference means prompting. Okay, so can ChatGPT help? Yes, they can. I really don't want to be negative about here. But only after the students learn how to solve the problem. If you have seen your students solve a few problems, or they advanced to the mid-level courses, feel free to use it. In fact, deep reasoning models, since DeepSeek has been opened up, can really be great tutors for students who need more explanation and preparing for exams and preparing for interviews. This can be great. For example, if you click thinking after you prompt the ChatGPT, they'll give you all of these thinking. I don't know. To be honest, after I solved myself, I'm too lazy to read what they are going to do. But if you're really like stuck, it can really help you to go through of this. I'm a little bit reluctant to show the last slide, but I'll show it. I think you're open-minded, so I'm going to show it. The danger here is this. So there's like brain metabology and energy consumption per problem. I made it up. I mean, that's not. So it's like very, very little when you prompt AI. I had a serious debate with my students which one costs more, the analytical, the simulation, depends on who you ask. Yeah, so that's the a picture worth 1,000 words, so I'll stop here. Thank you very much for your attention. Questions, yeah. Questions, sorry. Yeah, okay.
First of all, thank you for your leadership working with
Oh, thank you.
Guan Hu. You read about software companies using AI to write 30, 50, 60% of the code. I think Anthropic they have 60 to 70% of the code is written. So how is that changing the way that you think about teaching computer science and preparing students for life after college or grad school?
I think that's a great question. I actually think that's what I tell them all the time, because the job market is actually they have to learn more math. I think they need to be learning the underlying principle. The actual engineering work, once they learn the principle, they can really be outsourced by AI. They need to be able to work with the AI agents. And the most important thing is, yes, you can get correct answers. But in my computer vision class, it's an upper level class, some of the questions are very hard. Like for ChatGPT, there's one midterm question of asking how a projection of a cube going through a lens, what is the shape? ChatGPT have a hard time drawing it. So these kind of questions, you need to know why the solution is wrong, like whether they're wrong, why is it wrong? So I think being able to be analytical, really learn the principles. We should, this is a very difficult topic. I don't think it's an easy solution, but the senior position these days in IT, they're not losing the job. It's only the entry-level junior positions being replaced. I think students really need to have a broad perspective and really learn the principle. That's my answer, but to be honest, it's very hard. Yeah, thank you. Any other quick question?
I'm really intrigued by the example that you're using. I can't follow the math, but one of the things that I've learned about AI, and I'm not sure GPT-5, is it doesn't actually calculate. It finds the generative proximities. So say if you ask, and I again don't know if that's true for version 5, give me a number from 0 to 100, a random number. In about 10% of the cases, it'll give you 42. Why is that? Why is that? It's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? Or something like that. You know, it's the answer to the meaning of life. It finds in the universe of AI the answers that are likely following your prompt. And so what you're seeing there may be not the computations that GPT offers, but rather the most likely answer, because it's such a common question.
Yeah, thank you very much. I almost want to show the slide, but then it would be too crazy.
So
I actually asked it a generalized
training, yeah.
I actually asked a generalized question, like n number of rows, m number of seats, x number of passengers. Married couple can be 3. Nowadays, 2022. So I mean, they still generalize. Pretty good solution. I think AI has become really smart. Like I do think that even just by observing many samples, it can reason extremely well. I think they probably does calculate similarly than us. That is a deep question though, but on top of my head, ChatGPT-5 made great strides in calculating these questions. I compared Cloud, ChatGPT-5, Gemini, they all get good, very accurate for AMCA. Not just this question, that's my hobby, prompting AMCA to ChatGPT. Thank you very much.